How does one man become so powerful that presidents fear him, allies worship him, and enemies spend years trying to eliminate him? Was he a fearless military genius who defeated ISIS and protected his country? Or was he the mastermind behind decades of proxy wars, regional instability, and attacks that cost thousands of lives? His influence stretched from Tehran to Baghdad, Damascus, Beirut, and even Yemen. Without ever becoming president, without ruling a country, he became one of the most powerful figures in the Middle East. Then on January 3, 2020, a single drone strike changed everything. The United States killed General Qasem Soleimani, bringing one of the world's most influential military commanders to an abrupt end. But his death raised even bigger questions. Who was Qasem Soleimani? How did a poor village boy become Iran's most powerful general? Why was he considered a national hero by millions while being labeled a terrorist by others? And did his death make the Middle East safer or even more dangerous? Today we're uncovering the complete story of Qasem Soleimani, from his humble beginnings to his rise, his wars, his global influence, and the controversial legacy he left behind. Chapter 1: Early Life. Qasem Soleimani was born on March 11, 1957, in the village of Qanat-e-Malik, in Iran's Kerman province. His family was poor. Unlike many future political leaders, he wasn't born into wealth or privilege. As a teenager, he left his village and worked as a construction laborer and later for the local water department. Life was difficult. Iran itself was changing. During the 1970s, widespread dissatisfaction with Shah Mohammad Reza Pahlavi grew due to authoritarian rule, inequality, and political repression. In 1979, the Iranian Revolution overthrew the Shah and established the Islamic Republic under Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini. Like many young revolutionaries, Soleimani joined the newly formed Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC. He had no formal military education, but he possessed qualities every commander wanted: discipline, courage, loyalty, leadership. Those traits would soon be tested. Chapter 2: The Iran-Iraq War. In 1980, Iraqi leader Saddam Hussein invaded Iran. The conflict became one of the bloodiest wars since World War II. It lasted 8 years. More than 1 million people were killed or wounded. Soleimani quickly distinguished himself for leading dangerous missions despite limited resources. He rose from a junior commander to leading the 41st Thurala Division. Many veterans later described him as calm under fire and deeply committed to his soldiers. The war profoundly shaped his worldview. He came to believe Iran's security depended not only on defending its own borders, but also on building influence beyond them. This belief would later define his strategy across the Middle East. Chapter 3: Rise to Power. After the war ended in 1988, Soleimani continued serving in the Maysan IRGC. During the 1990s, he focused on security operations in southeastern Iran, including efforts against drug traffickers and armed groups. In 1998, he was appointed commander of the Quds Force, the IRGC unit responsible for overseas operations. This role transformed him from a military officer into one of Iran's most influential strategists. The Quds Force worked with allied governments and armed groups across the region. Its supporters said it strengthened Iran's security and deterred foreign threats. Its critics argued it expanded Iran's influence through proxy conflicts and contributed to regional instability. Chapter 4: Building Iran's Regional Network. Over the next 2 decades, Soleimani became closely involved in Iran's relationships with several regional partners. These included Hezbollah in Lebanon, Iraqi militias, including groups that later became part of the Popular Mobilization Forces, Syrian government forces during the Syrian civil war, support for groups aligned with Iran in Yemen. Supporters viewed these alliances as a forward defense strategy, keeping threats away from Iran's borders. Critics argued they fueled proxy wars and prolonged conflicts. This divide remains central to how Soleimani is remembered. Chapter 5: The War Against ISIS. When ISIS rapidly captured territory in Iraq and Syria in 2014, Soleimani became one of the most visible commanders coordinating forces against the group. Photographs of him on front lines circulated widely. Many Iraqis and Iranians credited him with helping organize resistance to ISIS advances. Others acknowledged his role against ISIS, while criticizing the broader influence of Iran-backed militias. His image grew from that of a shadowy commander into a widely recognized public figure. Chapter 6: Why the U.S. saw him as a threat. For years, the United States accused the Quds Force of supporting armed groups responsible for attacks on U.S. personnel and allies. U.S. officials said Iran-backed militias supplied advanced weapons that contributed to American casualties during the Iraq War. Iran rejected many U.S. accusations and argued it was supporting resistance movements and defending its national interests. Tensions escalated through incidents involving regional proxies, sanctions, attacks on shipping, and strikes on military facilities. By late 2019, the confrontation had intensified significantly. Chapter 7: The Drone Strike. On January 3, 2020, a U.S. drone strike near Baghdad International Airport killed Qasem Soleimani, an Iraqi militia leader Abu Mahdi al-Muhandis. The Trump administration said the strike was intended to prevent imminent attacks on U.S. personnel. The strike was praised by some governments and criticized by others, with debate over its legality and potential consequences. Millions attended funeral processions in Iran. The event marked one of the most serious moments of U.S.-Iran tension in decades. Chapter 8: Legacy. Even after his death, Soleimani remains a deeply polarizing figure. To many in Iran, he is remembered as a commander who defended the country and played a major role in defeating ISIS. To many others, including the United States and several of its allies, he is viewed as responsible for directing or supporting militant groups involved in regional conflicts and attacks. His legacy depends greatly on perspective, political beliefs, and personal experiences. What is clear is that few military commanders have shaped Middle Eastern geopolitics as profoundly during the early 21st century. Conclusion: history rarely produces figures who are seen as heroes by some and villains by others with equal intensity. Qasem Soleimani was one of those figures. He rose from a poor village in Iran to become the commander of one of the region's most influential military organizations. His supporters credit him with strengthening Iran's security and helping fight ISIS. His critics hold him responsible for expanding proxy conflicts and contributing to instability across the Middle East. His life and the debate surrounding it reflects the broader struggles over power, security, ideology, and influence in the modern Middle East. Whether remembered as a patriot, strategist, or controversial military leader, Qasem Soleimani's impact continues to shape regional politics long after his death. If you enjoyed this documentary, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Let us know in the comments. How do you think history will remember Qasem Soleimani?